Welcome to the Utah PTA Pulse Podcast. I'm Mike Williams, Director of Communications. And right here is... you.
Me. Hi, I'm Corey Fairholm, Utah PTA immediate past president and host of the podcast.
I'm Angelee, Aedo, the Vice President of Advocacy, and we have two special guests with us today. So I'll introduce Melinda. Melinda, what's your position?
I'm Melinda Tanner, and I am the chair of the School of Excellence Committee chair.
Awesome. And she is great. And then we have Eric Woodhouse with us today. Mm-hmm. Who are you, Eric?
Executive Director of Operations for Alpine School District currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Happy to be here.
And being part of this fun adventure with
Absolutely.
us.
Well, and I would say Eric is like so pro-PTA. Like, he really is.
Yeah, it's almost embarrassing. I mean, people see me at the district and that's all I want to talk about is the PTA.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, look what they're doing. Look at all the amazing things PTA is doing.
That is like amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
We need more administrators like that.
Yes.
Even though I'm over operations, the previous superintendent still put me as the district liaison for PTA, and so I work closely with Kim Topham, the Region 9 PTA president, Michelle Swartz, and so
they're great.
we collaborate quite a bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's really great. Okay, so our question is, if you could be a superhero, and I've asked this a similar question before, but what superhero would you pick and why? Like today, right now, what would you pick?
I'm going to
right
let
now?
Melinda go first because I'd have to give this like some time to think.
Well, we don't have time to think. It's like first thing on the docket.
Superhero?
Superhero. I know, see? Good one, Tom.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know the name of a superhero, but the ability to not have to drive everywhere, just be there right instantly because driving stinks.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a superhero that is just a normal person with normal powers but does extraordinary things with what he has. So, I mean, Spider-Man, he wasn't normal, but then, you know, he got injected, and then he has his special powers. Superman came with those. Is there a superhero that's just kind of like an average guy that's doing extraordinary things? Because I would be that guy.
I don't know.
I know that's a lame answer, but and if I have to choose somebody with special powers, it probably would be Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Why?
Climb up the buildings.
Yeah. But again, I mean, he's just a normal, average guy.
I mean, I do feel like the Flash, he was like, you know, a criminal investigator, and he was doing pretty good work before he got his superpowers.
It's true. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like the only one I could think of. Yeah.
The Green Lantern.
The dad on Incredibles. Like the Incredibles family. Just a plain old family.
Well, there you go. I mean, how did we do? Did we pass?
It's great.
Okay.
I would pick Catwoman. I just like her a lot.
Catwoman.
Catwoman?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
She's hot.
Oh, so it's not about, it's just about how you look with Angelee. That's right. Not the power.
It's not the power.
I don't care what I do for good. I just want to look
I just
good
want to
doing
look really
it.
good. That's it.
Yeah.
I just want
It's
to look
great.
good.
Yeah.
Dude, today I was like, I look so old.
Oh, come on.
So now she wants to be Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
What about you, Corey?
I don't know, probably Wonder Woman.
She's awesome too.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah.
got strength
Yeah.
and she's, you know, can endure all the people that came after her.
Got the bracelets.
Yeah, the bracelets.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I just want to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, get rid of all the evil. I don't know. I would like to run fast and get more things done. So
I know.
Yeah.
if I could add that power too.
I do like that the Flash, like, he can, like, clean his house, like, so fast.
Yeah,
you know,
make dinner.
And, like, unpack or pack or, yeah, all the
So
things.
you're almost kind of my generation. Did you ever play Power Rangers when you were a kid?
I didn't play it. We watched it.
Power Rangers.
That was
Not-
before my
that was
time.
A long time ago.
In my 40s.
Yes.
How old are you?
Are we saying this on camera?
You don't want to tell everyone.
I'm 52. I don't care, Sam. I'm 52. Yeah.
You didn't. He's like, that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
The script.
Anything else personal that I can share with everyone?
Not old enough to be a parent, just old enough to be a big brother.
Who, me? Oh, I'm definitely old enough to be a parent.
Yeah.
Not ours.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's comforting.
Well, thanks for coming to talk about the National PTA School of Excellence program. It's a great program. So can you, probably some of our listeners don't know what it is. So can you tell us about the program, Melinda?
It is an amazing program that the National PTA has put out. They have studied for years and years. They have over 40 years of studies that show that when families are partners with schools, that students have better outcomes. And so the School of Excellence program has some goals and objectives. And the overall goal is to enrich the educational experience and overall well-being of students. So they provide a framework for the PTAs to identify and implement best practices in family engagement. They build inclusive and welcoming school communities, and they help attract PTA to new and action-oriented members and who want to focus on the issues that affect their schools the most. And then it is designed so that it gives you a step-by-step guidance to go through all of this. And what better way of being able to make change in your own school than having a guidance process? And I see it all the time in our community of, I'm not happy with this right now. And our advice is, go join the PTA, help. We want to hear from your parents. This is how you make the change. And so it's really great that National PTA has offered this framework to be able to set that up for you.
I love that.
So do I, because there's such power of the community and schools and families working together for these children. So that is awesome. So schools sign up for this. The PTA working with the school administrators would sign up for this.
Yes. So the PTA president or anyone that is associated with the PTA can sign up with the support of the PTA president and administrator. They will go on and register. It usually opens May 1st through October 15th. And it pulls up their school demographics. It's usually a year or two behind on your actual demographics. And then you sign up through it. And then in August, they start rolling out the program details. And the program is customized. You're put in cohorts. So for 2025 to 2027, you get all, for this group of schools that signed up, they got all the same questions and to focus on the same goals. So they choose one of the 6 goals to work on with your principal and your team. And so everyone has the same starting point to work with across the nation. So everyone is focusing on the same thing. And they give you the questions too of how to help.
So what would an example of a goal be?
So there's 6 different family areas, standards, that that National PTA has created, that Utah PTA supports. And a lot of these that you would find, we've even had our principal come to us this year and asked, the first one is welcoming all families. How can we make some of our families feel welcome? Because right now there's a lot of families that are scared to go to school. Another standard is communicating effectively, supporting student success, speaking up for every child, sharing power, so helping make decisions, sharing it across students, the school, and the parents' responsibility, and then collaborating with your community. So those are
it's the national standard.
Those are the national standards, and then you choose a goal, a sub-goal from there. And an example of what one of the schools did last year is they wanted to communicate more effectively. So they set up remind text messages from the school, emails from the schools, phone calls from the school. The newsletter had a PTA spotlight every week. They sent out newsletters from the PTA, and then they had 2 or 3 different social media ways of communicating. And then occasionally there were flyers sent out. They had sandwich boards at pickup, and then they got the 6th graders involved in making posters about PTA events, and they would hold them out at the line.
So cute.
So they had at least 7 different ways of communicating when PTA events, and they say it takes at least 7 different ways to communicate to get through to parents. So they did that increased communication to be able to get things out to parents, and then they had a lot of visibility so parents knew who to come back to get feedback. Another school, they did support student success, and they decided to make videos on how to break down the state standardized testing to understand the scores and how to utilize those scores to support their students in improving on what they need to improve upon. And they broke down the standards-based report cards to help understand how their students are doing in school and how to support them.
I love that too.
That's like amazing.
Yes.
And that, I mean, there you go. PTA working with the school to make it a better,
Yes.
and finding those goals to help.
Yeah. And when we just did Welcome Your Own Families, they are a magnet school for DLI. So they have a lot of kids that come from all over the school district to their school for the DLI program. And so sometimes that can make those students feel, and those families feel kind of isolated because they don't have the close-knit neighborhood friends. And so they really worked on making sure all those families felt welcomed, and then all the other families that maybe English was not their first language, that all the communications were in all their languages, and that they held plenty of opportunities for the families that were outside of their neighborhood to feel welcomed at the school. So there's so many different opportunities that you might be doing it already in your school,
And yeah,
and you choose it and you look and go, oh, and it's great because it's tailored to what you need. You do a survey, and your parents, a lot of schools already do the stakeholder survey, I'm sure. I don't know the details, but I'm sure Eric might be able to know what I'm talking about. There's a stakeholder survey that they always send out about how are you feeling welcome in your school? How do you feel about your teachers? How do you feel about the environment? I've seen them as a teacher previously myself and as a parent. And this is a similar survey, like give your feedback. How do you feel about these things? And then you can choose one item that sticks out the most that's important to you as a PTA and your principal to work on.
okay, I love this. Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they, how long is the process to sign up? I mean, so you said May 1st
May 1st to October 15th.
is the time frame where they would sign up and do
Register.
the survey, all that?
So then they get the survey. Sometime in August, they send out the kit. And only if you are registered, you get the kit information. So it's not just available to anybody. It's only
Okay.
available if you sign up. And you have until December 15th to get your survey sent out and bring your results back and create your plan. And then from December 15th until about May, because our schools end in May, you have to implement your plan and then resend the same survey and then reflect upon it and turn it all in by June 15th.
Okay. And then once they do that, then they just have to do that every year to become a school of excellence.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
So they
Okay.
can do it every year, but it's every 2 years, and they
Okay.
can build upon it. So, say they did. One step was communicate to the parents. They got all the communication out. Now the next step they want to do is let's get feedback from the parents and make sure the parents have lots of feedback to us, and we're getting more surveys and more communication out. And we're having at every event we have a feedback board, and we have more parent input about what do you want for that. So that would be like a step 2 for our communication. Like, let's build upon what we have already had.
Love it.
It's awesome.
So, and every school I've seen that has completed all of the steps have been able to go on and be designated. I've seen some that have gotten all the way to the last step and they just, unfortunately, it gets very overwhelming sometimes, and that's okay because you can't do everything. Sometimes it's just a matter of not having the last survey. And I think with this school I helped out last year, we only had like 3 responses to the last survey, and our PTA president didn't think it was enough, but we submitted it and we got the designation anyway. So as long as you're attempting to make the effort and showing that you've reflected upon it, and from my understanding, you just have to show that you've done the work and doing what you can.
Okay.
And submitting it. And I've not seen a school yet that has done that much work and not get designated.
Okay. So Eric,
Yeah.
you are very instrumental in bringing this program to the Alpine School District, right? So tell us that story.
Well, I don't know if I'm instrumental in bringing it district-wide, but I was the first school in Utah to be designated as a Utah PTA School of Excellence. And I think it's important to note that when I look at the National PTA School of Excellence, I look at it as a tool. It's not the end in itself, it's the means to an end. And that means that you're trying to create is a community. And this sense of community that you have is about continuous improvement. And so when I was looking at that, when I took over the school, it was mid-year, which they typically never replaced a principal mid-year, but there were some things going on in the community and at the school. It was, when I came in, it was really polarized there at the school. And so I knew that I had some repair to do in the community. And so when I came in, I was just like, how am I going to tackle this? I was a lone principal of about almost close to 800 students. And I had a PTA president. And when I had the luxury of having the relationship that I had with that president, I have a different vision of what it means to be in a partnership and what that can look like. And sometimes I think we have to really define what we mean by a partnership. And I think a partnership means that you're chasing a specific goal. If there is no goal, then I don't believe that there is a partnership. And so when we looked at the school and we said, what are the needs and how do we start repairing how the community views the school, we just started going to every conference and started really soaking in all of these different options, looking for a framework and looking for a structure. And so when we found this, we were just, I don't know if it was me or the PTA president, but we were just Googling things and we came across it and we're like, let's go for it. Why not? Okay. It was a perfect framework for us to engage in. The survey was already ready-made. We sent out the survey, and then that gave us some really good feedback on the perception of the community. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think you just want to do something that you think is good. You want to make sure that you're making data-driven decisions. Yeah. And so once we got that data back, then we said, well, okay, how do we go about tackling this? And so we set a goal around one of those 6 standards. And I appreciate Melinda for talking about what those standards are, because it is very flexible. And you'll see from that survey that we could have easily chosen 2 or 3 different things to work on. But we felt like we wanted to tackle one of the things that we felt like we got the most feedback on. We set a plan, and then we started updating the public as we went along on some of the things that we were going to do about the plan. And then at the end of the year, you retake the survey and show the results. If you can show that you're making gains in that area, then all that does is build trust and support that your community has for you, right? And so I think as you're trying to build the social capital, I like that framework of where our role as partners is to build social capital together. Because if you ask yourself, do you believe that you have to work in partnership with parents in education? From an educator standpoint, do you believe in working in partnerships? And if your answer to that is yes, then what other framework are you going to use if it's not the PTA? It's got a ready-made structure. It's got your executive board, everything that you need to marshal those supports to engage in a meaningful partnership. And I just keep rehearsing this in my mind over and over again. If it's not the PTA, then what is it? And I do believe that it is through the PTA because I've had so many successful opportunities and results from working in that partnership that I believe that the outcomes that our students have were much better because of that partnership.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm like, Case closed.
Yeah, mic drop.
Seriously.
But the amount of work that goes into it, right, is it was a lot. And sometimes we would have this idea in mind where we would have open houses, and we were educating parents. And there were nights where we had, we'd put on so much effort, and then we'd have 10 people show up.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
frustrating.
But not really, because we made a difference to those 10.
That's true.
And then those 10 go out and talk to other people. And the other thing that we did that was kind of innovative at the time is we started having these cottage meetings. And so the PTA would host, like it was a member of the executive board, and they would say, I'll host this month. And so they would have this night at their house where I would show up, and anybody that wanted to would come, and they could ask any question they wanted. And
Oh, really?
I was always a little nervous because I never knew what I was going to get asked, right? But I think if you're going to engage in a partnership, there does have to be that level of vulnerability. And it's, as a principal, I was willing to put myself out there to say, here's me, I'm imperfect, and we're going to do things at the school that are not going to be perfect, but you're not perfect as a parent either. But together, we make a much better team, right? And so I think I just led with that idea of together we're just so much better. And so let's see what we can do to improve that.
That's great. So Northridge, that was at Northridge Elementary.
That was at Northridge Elementary.
And they have had the School of Excellence for 14, 15 years.
Ever since 2015. So
Okay.
they've been the longest designated school in the state of Utah.
That's amazing.
And they
That's awesome.
are re-enrolled for this designation cycle as well.
Well, last year we were able to attend like their 10-year anniversary of getting it, and they were celebrating the 10 years, and it really just is like an amazing feat, and it's something that they've been able to build upon every year, and they've taken that vision that you had and building upon it, and realizing the importance of that partnership, and that makes successful schools, and successful communities when we engage together in that partnership. And I don't know, it just was really special. Like,
Let me ask
Yeah.
a question, because we have found in PTA, because we switch leadership every year, every 2 years, did you find doing that, did that make it stronger, that program? I mean, did those leaders still want to carry on carry the program forward?
That's a good question. I think anytime you have either principal turnover or PTA president turnover, that can be a challenge. So how do you find consistency there? When you have a principal that is actively involved, I know that they can't be on the nominating committee, but there were plenty of conversations that I had because I knew parents and I knew some that were really believed in what that partnership should look like. And so I also approached them with the PTA president to come up with the PTA president-elect, and we would approach, these parents, and sometimes they were reticent, but with a little bit of, nudging, I think that we were able
we're
to.
all like that a little bit. Like,
Right, it always it takes an invitation, right? So we just weren't afraid. I wasn't afraid to make that invitation.
Okay.
And I think that it really does depend a lot on what kind of relationship that principal wants to have with the PTA, and it also depends on how willing that that PTA president is to, and handle that trust. I mean, I think there's a lot of trust going back and forth to both of those relationships. And if you don't have either one, then I feel like that partnership breaks down. And so I spent a lot of time working on that partnership, still do, because now I work as the district rep, and we spend a lot of time trying to work with principals and trying to navigate what that relationship should look like and give them an idea of what that partnership should be. And again, the National PTA School of Excellence is just that good. I wouldn't say an entry level, because you can continue to, advance that and get better at that every year, but it does give you a really quick experience of leveraging a framework that allows you to improve in your school. And I think as the principal and the president kind of see that, it builds a good positive momentum towards moving forward in deepening what that partnership can look like.
Because being the Utah PTA president, that was one of our biggest challenges, is working with PTA presidents to let them know that there is a partner with the principal, and they're like, oh no, this principal doesn't like us, we have a really hard time. So that's amazing that they have, that relationship. and to work for, because you're bringing in PTA, which are the parents and the teachers, and then the principals coming from the administrator side, and it's great to work on that. And then you have that foundation of the School of Excellence program that they can fall back on, and to continue that.
Yep.
That's what is amazing, because a lot of times if you get a new president or a new principal, they kind of go, oh, that's too much work, I don't want to do that. But to continue that's amazing.
Yeah.
We have, and the way that the survey is sent out is there's no way to even collect personal information or personal data. So the survey is 100% anonymous. So there's no way to know who is answering what. So it gives the freedom for people to answer honestly how they feel about the school without any fear of repercussions or retaliation, because there's no place to record email, there's no place to sign in and say it's like this is the email that's collected. It's 100% anonymous. So the PTA leaders, national PTA, nobody sees who's responding to what. So it's very risk-free way of getting feedback. And I think we have a new principal this year, and there's been a lot of, in community groups, it saddens me to see that there's not such great feedback about her. And it's like, we understand that it's a different style of being a principal. Like our new principal is focused very heavily on safety, whereas our old principal was focused on being very caring and personable and knowing every child's name. And like we have a lot of safety concerns, so our new principal is like very safety focused. So it's different when you have that change up and gaining the trust of the parents when they were used to the old principal for 7 years. So it's definitely different, but there is that chance to be able to be completely risk-free. And there's a second, you could do the survey, and then there's a second opportunity that you can do a listening session where parents can come in and you can have a guided conversation answering specific questions that would fill the survey part. And you can have the principal as part of that. And if there's specific topics they want to address within the questions that they give you generalized questions to ask to the parents to get specific feedback as well. And they can address some topics right there and use that as the basis of what is the goal if the survey doesn't seem to fit the needs. Because I know there's some school districts in Utah that doesn't allow certain amounts of questions to be sent out to the parents. So that's deferred some schools.
So they can change that?
So they don't necessarily have to do the survey. They can do a listening session. It's just not as anonymous.
Okay.
It's just, it's going to be in person and it's going to be verbally, and they'll have to take note of but again, there is no retaliation. We're here to work as a partnership. We want what's best for the children, and we want what's best for the families. We want everyone to feel welcome. And this is really, honestly, the best way to do it, because I've seen the amazing things that can come out from a really wonderful PTA, parents, principals, and the partnerships with the teachers for the students. That's what we're
I
here
just
for.
keep thinking of our mission. I mean, it just, it is so, this strengthens our mission to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. And that right there, it centers right on our mission, because we're bringing in the families and communities, including the school, to make sure these children reach their potential.
One other comment that Melinda talked about was being a part of a cohort too.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that luxury since I was the first one in Utah, but there is an advantage to that collective efficacy that it builds to be a part of a cohort. So I think the more schools that go through this, and the more they're able to come together and share some of these ideas that they've been able to work on to improve their school, all of a sudden you're increasing that social capital that we have, not just at the district level, but now it's at the state level and even at the national level. So I just love this idea of everybody coming together and collaborating around what that best practice looks like and what they've tried and improving together. So I love that you can be a part of a cohort now too. I think it's fantastic.
I don't remember exactly how frequently, but the national level has what they call excellence chat every 6 weeks or so where they get everyone together who's been doing the process, and they have like a little webinar chat where the schools can come together and bounce ideas off of each other.
So nationwide, they
Nationwide. And I'm
Great.
trying to get, as for a committee, we've been trying to get that set up as well for our Utah schools as well, getting connection with the leaders and having someone trained in every region on School of Excellence to maybe be able to be that localized source so that they are there and that they know how to help it through, because sometimes it's not always easy to read through the directions or watch the webinar or try to take directions over the phone or Zoom. It's better to have a person that's one-on-one to help you, but there's a lot of supports, and they have previous examples posted of what people have done. And the really awesome thing too is there's a few schools each year that have made a huge difference, and I don't know what the requirements are to get this, but they get entered in for a grant, and I do believe it's a $2,000 Phoebe Apperson Hurst grant
For
and
national
for national PTA. And it's either 2 or 3 schools a year that get that designation
throughout the United States.
throughout the United States. And I don't know what the requirements are to get that. I don't know if it's like they've had such an amazing program. I don't know exactly. It doesn't say. I think they just go through and they choose a couple. But that is also an opportunity. And I know that one of our schools, Churchill Junior High, in the process of doing their family engagement program last year, they also got a different family engagement grant with one of the books that they were using. So they had incorporated that in with their family engagement that they were doing with School of Excellence as well.
So how many schools do we have enrolled
At
in
the
Utah?
beginning of the year, we had somewhere between 21 and 24.
Oh, okay.
And as of right now, we had 15 make it past the December 15th checkpoint. A couple had reached out to me and said, we are just a 2-person board. We thought we were going to be able to do that, but it's just 2 of us. And I'm like, I totally get that. It's,
It's hard, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's really great to have a team. You don't have to take it on as a president. You can delegate it to somebody. You can delegate it to a team. If you have a parent, that's really awesome. It's actually recommended to have
Someone else do it.
someone else do it, and like a teacher and the admin, and have a couple people from different demographics in your school that are coming together to create a team for this so that they can help reach all those areas and kind of, build all the talents and fit all the puzzle pieces together so that you're not missing anybody and thinking about all the different goals that you can do.
I love that. I also love after you do your survey, you kind of have your game plan for the year, and sometimes you have to pivot, because you realize not what you were doing was bad or wrong, but your community needs something totally different, and that's more important, And I think when we're able to do that is so important. I'm just thinking back to when my school got it, and when we did our survey, we really had to pivot what we were doing. Not that anything was bad or we were doing not great things, but they just weren't the right things at that time, And so we had to pivot and bring our community more together, and I think that's really important too.
Yeah, I think what it shows is that you're willing to be a listening organization.
Yeah.
And that's really critical in order to be in a partnership is, am I willing to listen?
Yeah.
And that is true. And sometimes when you listen to the feedback, it means you have to pivot, and it's worth the pivot if it increases that relationship and that trust.
Yeah. And I think right now, currently in our world, there is just this distrust in education, and that's so hard. And so many times I'll have parents come and complain to me about X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, have you talked to your principal about this? Have you talked to the teacher? And the answer is always no. Mm-hmm. It's always no. And I said, go and talk to them. And do it respectfully. Don't come in guns blazing. That's no good for anyone, in any situation. But I'm like, they can't help in any situation if they don't know that X, Y, and Z is happening, You know,
Yeah.
you can't solve a problem that you don't know is a problem. And
But if they're willing to sit down
Yeah.
and ask, then they can understand
yeah,
and listen, like you said. If they're willing to listen, to understand what's going on,
yeah,
then both of them feel better. But if they don't make that initial movement to say,
Yeah.
hey, let's talk about this, then it just gets
I
worse.
think
It
we just have
blows
to
up a
remember
big
that
bomb.
like everybody wants what's best for for the children.
Yeah.
You know, and that we are partners. Because I think sometimes the attitude is like it's the parents against the school, and really it's everyone is really trying to work hard for all those kids.
Yeah, when it's played out in the forum of social media, I think that's where you see principals where they tend to lean towards an isolationism, because it's like, oh, I don't want to say anything that's going to be misconstrued, and if I get thrown out there or blasted on social media, that's really hard for me as an administrator. But to go retreat inward even more is the worst thing you can do, and I think that's what breeds that mistrust.
Yeah.
And I think the more transparent we can be, the better we're going to be as an organization. And so anytime you can do that through a structure like
The structure
this,
is so important.
then all of a sudden you've got a process that's in place and a framework, and operating within that framework provides you safety. I always talk to my principals, the ones that are a little reticent to reach out and be involved. You really do have a contingency of parents, but they're so minimal that really can be difficult to manage.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that difficulty can feel undaunting, because 2 or 3 parents can really make your life really difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But the other 98%, if you would just communicate with them, they will be your advocate. And so don't focus on the 2%, focus on the 98%, because that 98% really can drive the change that's going to happen in your school. And you're always going to have people that disagree with you.
Totally.
But don't let that get in your way of involving the PTA and engaging in that partnership. I always say 1 hour invested in the PTA is going to save me 5 hours on the phone otherwise.
And that's so true. I mean, that 2% can be really loud, but then that 98% is going to be, you know, your best advocate out there in the community. And and you're right. 1 hour is worth
It's a solid
build that
investment.
relationship
Oh, the return
and
on
trust.
investment is great.
Yeah.
I love seeing this, and it's so interesting to see this when someone's like, I'm having this issue with the school. How do I go about doing this? And someone's like, have you talked to the PTA president about this? And someone's like, what does the PTA have anything to do with this? This is a school issue. And I like to mention, like, actually, the PTA does a lot. This is an issue that the PTA has probably talked to the principal about, and the principal is really open. If you're afraid to go talk to the principal, you can talk to the PTA president, and they're happy to bring it up for you. Like, we have that relationship for them to bridge that connection for you, because if you're having that issue, how many other parents are having that issue? And we want to advocate for every child. So if you think it's a PTA and not a PTA issue, it probably is, because we're also working on the back end to advocate for the students up at the Capitol. And that actually is an issue that we just took to the legislators. This was like last year in January. Like, this was an issue that we were just talking to legislators about and helping get a bill pushed through. So you would be surprised that that doesn't seem like a PTA issue, but it is, because that is what we do. And it's really great. They're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And so it's great to like help understand. A lot of people don't understand that we're here to like help bridge that communication between the schools and the family engagement, and like the parents and the teachers and the administration and just all the community. And that we do so much more than just give the teachers meals or do the spirit wear or do a fundraiser. That we're there to actually help all the families be involved in the school as much as they're able to, and make them feel like the school is a second home or safe place for their kids to be at.
I love it.
I mean, PTA is an army of volunteers working and making a difference. So
It really is.
that's awesome. So really, this program strengthens that relationship between the community, the school administration and the parents, and it's a great program because it has those 6 standards, and they've been scientifically researched and
Yeah.
for many years, and National PTA has a great program.
The interesting thing is that a lot of school districts have actually adopted something very similar
Yeah.
to the national PTA standards because they work,
Yep.
And
all of them make sense. I mean, work with your community.
yeah.
Your children's success. Build those relationships of trust.
Yeah.
Advocate. I mean, hi, hello. That's
That's like all we're trying to
It
do.
makes total
Everybody's trying
sense.
to do all these things.
and National PTA put it all together, and they have a program and
Yeah.
give awards and grants to those schools that do it.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
I really have to give a big thank you to Eric just for Alpine School District because the work he's done and changing some of the attitudes towards PTA has really been amazing. And when you can get that upper admin support, it can really change the district. And
I agree.
I was like heavily involved in it, but having kind of stepped away a little bit, I've been able to really truly see like such a difference. So
Oh, thanks, Angelee.
yeah.
No, and seriously, because Alpine has a great reputation for supporting PTA and having all the schools be PTA, and I mean that's an impact.
I'm gonna have to have you start training all the other
The new
Just
admins.
come and talk to all the superintendents, all the principals.
Listen, I am always happy to help.
Dr. Godfrey will be done next year, so
And I never felt more seen and heard when, I don't know who it was that spoke at our region kickoff when they were like, this year we want you to elevate family engagement as our goal for the school district. We want to elevate that family engagement because it's going to create success in our school. So like the school district chose that as their own goals.
So that's
And
awesome.
I'm like, oh my goodness, yes. And that was one of the big goals is I wanted to have a lot of schools sign up for family, School of Excellence with family engagement this year. And I'm like, this is perfect. This ties right in with it. And if more districts were able to follow that, then they would see. So I was like, this is like showing how we can make that happen with elevating it, and why if it didn't work, a district wouldn't set that as their goal for the year.
It sounds like then you just need to talk to the national level and have them come out with a national PTA district
There you go.
of excellence.
There you go.
I love that. I love
Why are we just focused on the school level?
There you go.
I love it.
Shout out
Corey, tell your friends.
Hey,
National PTA District of Excellence. Boom.
Alpine wins right now.
that's amazing. That's it. Our national PTA president's coming to our conference in our convention in May, so you can come and we can
That'd be a
Hook you
fun
up.
goal to chase.
It really would be.
That'd be awesome. I think
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
This is a great program. I'm glad to see that so many schools have been signing up and that they're participating. And thank you so much for coming today, Eric. And you had great thoughts. Seriously, and
I know.
it's amazing. This is amazing because there are schools out in Utah that they have a hard time working with that principal. But if they principal and PTA realize we're all in it together. Oh man, you know how many relationships,
powerful.
how successful all of these PTAs can be.
And when I was looking over, so we pushed Gold Star a lot for like what schools we want them to do. And I was looking over the requirements for Gold Star, and almost everything under Engage you do automatically with family or with the School of Excellence program. School of Excellence is actually one of the check marks for it. And like, membership and teacher appreciation, all these check marks fall under doing something and developing. You're going to be doing these things with it. So it's not adding a ton onto what you're
It
already
sounds like
doing.
you're already doing it.
And advocating, like having them go to community council or the school board meetings and stuff. If you're doing the School of Excellence, you're already doing the stuff, or if you're already doing Gold Star stuff, you're already doing the stuff for School of Excellence. So they kind of go hand in hand. And it's not a lot of extra work. It's twice a year you have to type about 4 or 5 questions, about 250 words for each of those questions about what you've done and analyze. So that's about the amount of extra work there is to do.
Okay.
And it really just builds, and it makes you a stronger PTA and a stronger for your school. So, and then we're working on getting recognition at state convention for having done the School of Excellence. And just like with the Gold Star, you get like a little ribbon if you're a Gold Star school. Like we're looking on getting some ribbons for being a School of Excellence school and some other things so that we acknowledge it and make a really big deal, because we already come in and do a big celebration with your school as well. That's the final step, is let's celebrate and invite your community in and acknowledge that you did all this hard work and celebrate with you. But we want to make sure that you're rewarded too, because all the hard work should also be acknowledged, because it's not, sometimes it feels like PTA is thankless and we do all this work and we remember what our why is and why we're doing it and continuing on, but we also need to recognize the hard work that you've done.
Yeah.
And so that's been one of my personal goals, is to recognize each and every person that's worked hard on this program too.
Well, thank you for what you do. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, Eric?
No, thanks for the opportunity to come and share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for what you're doing, and we appreciate it. Making a difference.
Thank
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you, Melinda. And how can they get a hold of you if they have any questions about this program?
School of Excellence at utahpta.org.
Okay.
Okay.
That's awesome. And Melinda will answer you right back and
Yes.
get you involved, because May 1st is coming up.
Yes.
So they
and-
should start signing up.
Yes, and I am working on getting a webinar training on the website too, so
That's
that we'll
awesome.
have it all
Awesome.
ready to go, and having lots and lots of training for people.
Okay, that's great.
Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for, this is a good program.
Yeah, I love
thank
it.
you.
All right.
Okay, now you're going to dance.
See you on the flip side.